kwanza leo sijitake program stream kile kwa naweka link I am wayward bila kadi only way forward you're looking like two planets you're not from the same world I am famous spread under my neighbor too and if you don't follow too much I swear it's break up
Lovely morning. Yes, technology, science versus nature. But I believe everything will be well. Okay. We are welcoming the chairperson. You are welcome, madam. Hello. Good morning, children. Good morning, teachers. You're most welcome. Good morning, everyone. You're very welcome to this occasion, and there is no other place than St. Peter's that was chosen by KCCA as our host for this year's occasion. We are happy to be here, and we are also happy to be part of the Dear Day, which has a very, very important theme, that is reading as a way of life. We are here because of reading. We are an association that loves reading. The children are here because of reading. They learn because of reading. So reading is everywhere. So we are very excited, and we believe that this day we are going to learn a lot from our facilitators and from all of us. We know our teachers will also contribute a lot to the learning session, and the children will also learn a lot from what activities that we have prepared for them today. I would like to read my remarks because I prepared them and I don't want to forget any point. Our guest of honor, Mr. Matovu Festus, the Vice President, Uganda National Chamber of Commerce and Industries, and also the Managing Director, Kamalu Group of Companies. You're most welcome, sir. And thank you for accepting our invitation. Our host, the head teacher, our facilitators, officials from the KCCA, we are expecting them. They have an occasion, but they said they are sending a representative. Officials from the National Library of Uganda, my fellow members of WUCHWA, teachers, learners from all the invited schools, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Before I make my remarks, I believe some of you or all of you might know that we lost our chairperson early this year, Madam Evangeline Lady Barongo. She was our chairperson for over 20 years, and I would like us to stand up and observe a moment of silence as we remember the good work she did for reading and for the children. She was a great writer, a great author, and a lady who loved children. We really miss her a lot. May her soul rest in peace. You can have a seat. I bring you greetings from Uganda Children Writers and Illustrators Association and warmly welcome you to the Storybook book box function. I'm sorry I didn't introduce my name. My name is Eva Mutongole Wamala, and currently I was chosen by the members to be the chairperson of this association and continue with the good work that was started more than 20 years ago. First of all, I would like to thank you all for accepting our invitation to this function, and your presence is an indication that you support our endeavor of promoting reading as a culture with young learners. Mr. Guest of Honor, I would like to give a brief about Book Aid International, who are our major funders for this project. The Book Aid International is a distinguished organization that is dedicated to the cause of building the potential of children globally. Currently, it works in 26 countries, reaching a population of more than 20 million people. In Uganda, Book Aid has for many years supported the Ministry of Education and Sports to promote reading as a culture among school children. Book Aid International works together with the local publishers to supply carefully selected brand new. You're going to get brand new books to the public libraries, community libraries, schools, universities, refugee camps, hospitals, prisons worldwide. In Africa, they work in 17 countries, Uganda inclusive, and these are Kenya, Rwanda, South Sudan, Tanzania, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Somalia, Cameroon, Ghana, Liberia, Sierra Leone, the Gambia, Malawi, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. In Uganda, the Uganda Children Writers and Illustrators Association is honored to represent Book Aid International, and this is our second year since our collaboration started with Book Aid International. Mr. Guest of Honor, I would like to give you a brief about WUCHRA. Uganda Children Writers and Illustrators Association is a registered non-government organization. It's a charity organization that has been in existence for the last 28 years. It has membership of Ugandan writers and illustrators of children's books, with all areas be toned down to at least 12 schools per division in Kampala, as other funds are sourced. This is why we are here with 12 schools from Machinje division and a special addition from Rubaga division. Appreciate the support for the Reading Association of Uganda. The chairperson is with us here. Can you stand up for recognition? WUCHRA collaborates with all associations that have one of their objectives as reading. So whichever organization that supports reading, we work with them. We also appreciate the support of the National Library of Uganda, and of course the support of Kampala Capital City Authority, which has allowed us to work in the schools that are supported by the government of Uganda. And we are here because of them, and of course they chose St. Peter's for this year's as a host for this year's project. I would like to introduce our dynamic team from WUCHRA. I don't work alone. I'm sorry some of the members are not here yet, but those that are here should stand up for recognition. My fellow WICHRA members. Because without them, probably we wouldn't be here. I would like to thank you so much for the support you have given me as a young chairperson so that we have this event taking place, and I hope everything will go well. We are currently registering members, and we also welcome children as authors. We would encourage you, the teachers, to join us as authors for children's books. You have all the support. Those people you are looking at are very good editors, and they will look at your work and support you, and you'll be able to become publishers of children's books. Well, currently we have 2 children who have published with us, and their books are going to be part of the donation there, and it has really helped them to get to know and love writing. Let me also take this opportunity to thank the head teacher, the management of St. Vitus Primary School for hosting us here today. We look forward to our continued collaboration. I would like to conclude by encouraging all of us to dedicate our commitment to ensuring that we provide more opportunities to children to help them enjoy reading as a good culture for the young and the old. And as a Christian, I would like to end with Proverbs 22:6, which says, "Train up a child in a way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it." Thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for coming. For God and my country. At this juncture, I would like to invite our guest of honor. We are honored to have you here, Mr. Festus Makutovu, to give your remarks. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I started teaching mathematics in 1974 up to now. So when you see or hear my English sliding away, don't laugh. But all the same, I'll try my best. I was born in a village called Bira, about 9 miles from Kampala. My mother, little mother Nalongo, brought me up and taught me how to smile. So when I smile, again, try to smile, help me in smiling. Because the subject we are talking about is enjoyable, isn't it? We have to see it, relax, and enjoy while here. Isn't it the day reading is a way of life? Having said that, I have to greet you in a language which I don't know very well. Good morning. Children here, good morning. There's somebody who is even sick. I see that person there. Madam Chair, I want the day to be enjoyable because you're talking about reading as we enjoy. So when I say good morning, that is a statement. Good morning, I wish you a good morning. But when I change my tone, I say good morning, I'll be asking a question so that you answer that yes, the morning is good. I think the teachers know the difference. Wishing somebody good morning is a good morning. But if you want to know how they are, you say good morning. Temwasoma luzungu nga mulina omumwa omumonde oguli mu kamwa kamwe nga bwokya. So when you're talking about reading, Madam Chair, we are going to practice that one. Whenever we read books loudly, we read as if there's a hot potato in your mouth. Sabia seva kola, sabia teachers. Abana seva sabisa. Nti banyulize olulimi ate nga banyumirwa kye basoma. That is the right. One of you, incidentally, I went to school, Bira Primary School. Abaana muwulira bonna bali awo beeraliikirira naye nandagadde nnyo okuwulira because the teachers know what I'm going to talk about, but I wanted this thing because when we talk about reading, writing and illustrating, these are the future people, isn't it? This is our market here. Are you looking at me, children? So I went to Bira Primary School. From there I went to Masulita Junior School because for me, I did not do primary 7. Muli abana bani? Sasoma primary 7. Bewunyiza nnyo. Jani ndalagikala. Era emyaka gyaffe tewaliwo primary 7. Tutasomanga primary 6. Awono n'omwana ogenda mu junior 1, junior 2. Ate awo ne Masulita wenda batindako ebuddeeyo. Naye ate ekikuwunyisa ate ne senior force agikola. Doesn't matter, but I'm here. So children, the opportunities for you when you read and write, you can be promoted when time necessary. Why did I do senior 4? Because it wasn't there. There was what we call express system. Now from there, I went to other levels. Then I became a teacher. Becoming a teacher, I'm one of you. And I started teaching in 1974, teaching mathematics. Once a teacher, always a teacher. Someone's a teaching. Then from there I continued to the Ministry of Education. I became a curriculum specialist, developed curriculum in mathematics, primary and secondary. These days when I talk about mathematics, people are not scared. But those days, talking about mathematics, they were what you call math phobia. Mathematics, this is a difficult subject. It was so difficult. That even some teachers were telling the children that this subject is very difficult. And this subject is actually for boys. I think you teachers now, you know that girls are excelling in mathematics. Thank you very much for the teacher, for the work you're doing to improve the reading and the mathematics. Now from there, I started working from the curriculum center as a publisher. I joined the publishing industry where she has mentioned that I'm the one in charge of Kamal Longman. And from there, while there, I was also asked to be the chairman of Uganda Publishers Association. It was from there, those years, when we formed National Book Trust of Uganda. National Book Trust of Uganda, where there are so many stakeholders, publishers, printers, illustrators, and reading, writing association. This is Ikiwa, isn't it? Mukikubire engalo kubanga Nabotre when it was introduced as a Uganda chapter, we also linked with other countries like Kenya and Tanzania. Awo kyobola about the late Eva Balongo ekintu kino utakipikingira. That's how I became a sister to Ikiwa. So I'm one of you. Another thing which I have to mention is the love which we had and which we should continue having. Love is talking about passion. Under that Naboto, we are doing things with love. Your person. You cannot read, write and illustrate when what you are doing, you don't love it, you are doing it mechanically. So for Ikiwa, we have talked about reading, writing, illustrating with love. For today, what I have to bring you up here is that there are so many reading materials on the market, and there are so many which you are writing and which you write tomorrow and the days after. So what is the problem now? What is the problem in the country? Why we are now struggling? Is that are the materials written for a purpose? Madam Chair, we are encouraging the teachers, the children, to write materials for purpose. Because you have to write, or you have to know what you call your audience. Whom am I writing to? Wamyaka emeka ategeera atya era kino kyemwandikira kinamugasa era kinagasa ne society. Why? Because when the children read books which are not for their purpose, they will get frustrated. But when they read the books which are interesting, they will get excited, and they read and read and read. So, Madam Chair and Ikiwa and the teachers here, we are going to write books for the purpose. Many children in the past 3 years, but not present, used to fail or not do very well in PLA and also O-level exams. Not because they don't know the content appropriate. Well, before now, especially nowadays, I think, but I started reading in English in junior 1. Bila twakozesa twakubanga Luganda lwaffe. Kugamba okusoma eyo oba ne heresi bagitanga heresi science naye nga tugisoma mu Luganda. So here things are different. Children start reading immediately after breastfeeding. Am I wrong? After breastfeeding, manya bola bina kwe tebakyagala kuyosa. Omwana muyosa katono agandi baddayo kola. Kati nakati akana kali katwale mu daycare. Akasale mu daycare gyosedde care ogenda okulaba abasomesa kati we are also going to do kindergarten on nursery akana wakati kukola ki kuzanya obuzanyi na kukalabirira ogenda okegera ABCD ABCD akana kayoka nolaba bikyatisi ebintu ebicomplicated batadde awo akaana kayonka kale kwaga yanengati you have to write a purpose and try to avoid frustrating the learners. You are writing something which wandise mu lulimi oluzibu without toning yourself down to the level of the person to read. You are now fond of writing the children in very complicated English. Say wow, madam. And the people writing are not liaising. I don't remember whether there's the teacher of English, teacher Agatha. That's the teacher of English. She's not an English teacher. They're different. She's not English teacher. She's a teacher of English. Now, there's a teacher of mathematics somewhere. There's a teacher of science. See what you read? Now, in scheme of work, you don't coordinate. Kakati olina vocabulary. Olia asomesa science, nakusa very strong vocabulary. Atenga ye ono ye ku primary 3, primary 4, tena ku introducing those words. See a complication in mukati. So when you're writing something, you write as a team. I'm going to write about whatever, about flowers. Kakati wa science ye vocabulary shija akozesa ku flowers. Ndoze kimu kitegedde bannange. Ichiwa is encouraging you to write. No, but I must write a book. Nenga, you have to know that you are going to coordinate with other people who are teaching one security level. Yebo, aba science bajja kutegeera, aba math bajja kutegeera, n'abaana abasoma obusomi language bajja kutegeera. You get it? Ekya love nakyogeddeko nti we read with love. Naye ate n'okuwandiika, you write with love and patience, because some books take long to finish. So some books you can write them and the publishers throw them away, but don't give up. You continue, we continue until we come up with a book. See, well, now reading materials have to be available. Reading materials have to be available. To government, we are going to give out the books, donating the books now. But how accessible are they going to be to the readers? They may be in some schools, not in Zambia. We find that the books are there, very many, in what we call a bookstore. We have a problem. There are some schools which have very well stocked bookstores. Nenga si library. There's a bit of biawolem. Era bugenda to school gafa abantu nababitabo. Kati teacher against. Nenga I bought so many of these books. I have very many of those. Where are they? The bookstore are there. Nogera ku library. Nga things are not there. Namawulire nga tegaliyo. So whatever you write, make sure that after writing you follow it up, where the book is going to be sold and where the book is going to be used. See how? So that it can be remembered for life. Now, what change about also reading for what we call functional reading. Functional reading. When I was in school, I don't know whether it happens these days, There are some children who are reading too much. They are really reading too much. Every time they're in library. Now when they come to the examination, they performance yabwe teyayinga nnungi. Nga basoma ebitabo, nga tukyajje basoma ebitabo. Naye nga kyasoma takitegedde because tasomye for a purpose. I happen to be a member of Bible Study Fellowship International. Bible Study Fellowship International for men. Kubanga aliwo ya men and ya women. They are different. And this cuts across, it is not a particular religion. It's for all people. You are welcome to the Bible Study Fellowship. A Bible is not a book. So wow. Abambajja kumpakanya nti ate matuvu ogamba ki ebyo. Tumanyi nti kukwata Bible oba okutta book. A Bible is library. So wow. A library, bano abantu bakimanyi, a Bible is a library of 66 books. Tukikiriza? What is a Bible? Tebalina breakfast. Naye kogamba mugenda kusoma mugyaga breakfast mu abaana nga temuna kugenda kubya kusoma bino. Which reads from Genesis to Revelation. Waliwo people who are very good at reading in that book, that library. Nati omuntu asoma nnyo Bible, agisoma nnyo. Kakati totandika okulaba nti skills no ezogerako. Because when you read Jaliko okay, Jaliko. When you read, first of all, you have to understand. After understanding, you read. That is knowledge. You know what the Bible is. What is the Bible? Do you understand what you are reading? That is number 2. You have read. Make sure that you understand what you have read. What is it for anyway? For being proud and go on citing verses and verses and people. But you love God? No. Understanding the Bible or whatever books now, make sure that you analyze what is in the book. These books which you read here, make sure that you understand, you know what you're reading, you understand and start analyzing what is there. These are skills, isn't it? Analyzing. So what? Why do you analyze? People will know in a society that you are read when you apply. Step you apply what you read. You read to get the knowledge, isn't it? You try to understand what you read. You have to analyze what you have read. Finally, you have to apply. The things that teach you again, so what? Do they apply what is in those materials? That is important step to take. Abasomesa ndowooza ekyo nammwe mukitegedde. do we apply these things in a society? Because there are so many things here which we read. Some of them are not good, but we want the majority of the things which the children read to be good, so that people appreciate what Yeshua is doing. What does it mean? You people who are writing books, you must write books or reading materials which are relevant to the target group, both in age and culture. What does Uganda culture read now? What has been the social media of late are the bad things about homosexuality and what have you. And some countries have written very many material, a lot of material that, but for them, those are relevant to their culture. For us, we are writing materials to our culture. What do we want Uganda to be in 2040? Here, vision, the vision 2040 talks about as a country an industrialized country. That's why even the ministry at that time was trying to say they emphasize, unfortunately for some people, they emphasize sciences more than arts. Abasosiyete teminyiga kubanga bagenda bongeza emisala gy'aba science. Nesinzi nakikola ekyo. But I think that what you're saying now, we are writing materials from grassroots. Abaana bano mbalaba. Kati bwe owandiika, you must know the national goal mu abakulu. Nti ebintu bino binaabatuusa ku ki as a country, how are you going to develop from the material that the children here? Ogenda kuwandika ku ntalo? No, we are not in Ukraine or Russia. Kugamwandika ebintu nga your vision is very far from now, that the materials you write will benefit them in the future. There's a book which has remained in the market, nakasoma kunga bakasomera nga busomezi nga mama wange atuula awo n'agamba omuntu atusomerere, because my mother could not read for me. Simanyi kibiina kye yakomamu, naye manyi nti my father who is my OB ye yakomamu P3. Bila wali, he was my OB. P3. Kakati nga balina obutabo bagulanga ne batugamba omulala atusomere, naye nga bwe batusomeranga naye olaba anyenya omutwe oba yali abitegeera simanyi. So we are saying that we are reading these books for a purpose, nga abaana baffe tumanyi nti mu future kino kye baleetaaga. Akatabo ke mbadde mbogerako kawandiikirwa omwami Kawere, basinga mukamanyi, Zenula Omunaku. Abakulu mukamanyi Zenula Omunaku? Abasomesa temukamanyi? You don't know that book? You have heard about it? Zenula Omunaku kitegeeza ki? Sorry? Zenula Omunaku, that is the money ensimbi. Ozitegeka kiro ku luwuzi, bw'onookeera enkya it will bail you out. So that book is very, very interesting. Even now I have it every evening these days. Tukasoma mu evening awo nga tutudde mu bijjuliro nja kubogerako ng'omuliriza. Naye nga what I am talking about Zenula Omunaku zikununula enkya. So what we write, what we read now is what is going to bail us out in the future. The purpose of reading reading is not to have problems tomorrow. So what will bail you out is your ability to read and maybe write. Waliwo abanyize nnyo these days ate bantu bakulu abamu balina ne PhD and so masters. Kati mba muli awo nga muvuga emmotoka ng'oyagala okuyingira ku petrol station waliwo aro kagadi in ate yogenda okulaba nga ate akakosa out ikati wasoma waggwe tewasomera kwa bbira wansambye kogatinga what we did tubasomesa tuwandikira babissa mu nkola do they really apply what they are reading? In school there are so many signs around. Now one of them say, don't pass here, don't cut the grass. Ate omwana omulala waayita naye ate olisi ayitawo nga nawe nomusomesa afutalo waayise naga nti it is okay. Kakati we are talking about morals etusomesa mu bitabo bino, and what you want to revive now nga njagala okumaliza speech yange eno. We are reading these books. How? Methods of reading them. What a program that you write child to child. But it encourages the children to read in groups and share. When I was growing up in Birawali, tata wange yalina akameza katulako. You are sitting in alina akatebe n'akameza kamukamuki kali akatono. Kakati the rest of us abaana nga tula wali wansi wali kozi mugita altar olujuliro. Abakulembeze you know what you call altar? Olujuliro. Ku lujuliro okwo nga kutuyigira empisa ennungi ennyo. Era ko batusomeranga n'obutabo obusanga reading a book for us. But as we are eating, my father seated here nga tunulakira kulati matovu osimbye omukono, matovu otunudde mu sawani ya munno, matovu oswankula. So that mannerism taught us a lot. I will also teach the children as you write books and illustrate to them that it is good to sit properly, to talk properly, and I'm talking about spiritually. I'm not talking about saying that sisimbiro kono physically. Spiritually, sisimbiro kono. Am I looking into somebody's business in the wrong way? So tunula jimunango wa mwade chifu kyenyama kinene nze mama padde ate taata nkoko nkulu agiwadde oli. These are the books which are writing now, that how do we look in the future to see that corruption, see a disease ennaku zino. How do we write books so that we nurture these children with morals? As they grow, they will know that corruption is not good. That is grabbing. Okulyanga oswankula. Okulyanga oswankula. In the business, or in schools here, in schools, abasomesa wakuna amicably. Tewali ayingira nnyo mu department ya mnuzu n'agenda kawe nakoze ono njamuwabira headmaster mufute mu collecting. All these things come from the books you're writing, isn't it? So when you're writing, write for a purpose and write for educating the country. Finally, you as children children Multifena. I think this was really a bright class. Bwe nalinga omusaana naye tebatukkirizanga nnyo kukola ki kuyimirira wano nga nsomesa, but because I'm the guest of honor now, I'm standing here, I cannot move around the class there kugamba kuzukusa mwana twaki tompuliriza, but that's the way we used to do as teachers. Ng'olaba abaana abamu tebawulira ogande kati awo kanveewo. So we are reading for ourselves. Altogether, we read for ourselves. Children, we are not reading for the teachers. We don't read it for the parents, but for yourself. Binyogerera wano mwana agapisiri nze nsomerera abazadde bange bamanyi era ne bwaba agenda musiri my parents know, mommy knows, daddy knows, for me I'm just going to school. So the writing of the books you're talking about, make sure that you personalize the story, touches the child. Or when the child reading the book feels as if he or she is the one being mentioned in the material. How do we do that? Madam Chair, cultures. When you're writing books for a certain culture, you use the names and illustrations for that culture. So, katina waliwo ennaku zino ekitawanya abantu phonetics naye dda twasomanga what they call alphabetical chart, A, B, C, D up to Z. Naga ndi A for O, A mbwambulira ate how does you now come to A kakati ebintu ebyo naye bizibu nnyo. I've talked much about reading, but I also go into illustrations. What makes material interesting is illustration. There's a saying that a picture tells 1,000 words. So how, madam? You may not labor much about writing so many words, but illustration. Think about how you are going to illustrate a certain story. The picture, it brings out of interpretation. Those of you who are using WhatsApp, there's some WhatsApp message you see here, you don't understand, then you ask somebody, please send a caption. But in some WhatsApp picture, the caption is not necessary. Yeah? You can just this one made this one here. When you're writing and illustrate, illustrate what you really want to communicate to the readers. Finally, I thank you, Madam Ichua, for inviting me here and saying a few words which I thought could help especially our young ones here, which can help the teachers here, and which can help our country as a whole. We want to see that Uganda in the years to come has a reading culture which is acceptable. It has a reading culture which is also developmental to the nation as such, but not a mere society which reads service and get bored. I did not bring here my newspapers. Every day I buy a newspaper. Oluganda ndwagala nnyo. Naye oluzungu ntegeera mu katono. Nala olupapula tropical monitor. Oluzungu buzibu. New vision gyali, but the Luganda one, that I understand. It has so many pages. The first page, sensational news, current. Some of them may be Bamuse. What to get? Let a leak of just for that headline. Then you open inside there. Mulimu ebyemizannyo. Somebody buys a newspaper because he or she wants to see the sports. Ali muli munda muli. Waliwo abagula ku Thursday newspaper because they want to see what is in agriculture. Agriculture. Abali fane nnyo ku Lwokubiri abo sijja kuboogerako nnyo. Banoonya abalina ke beekoledde. Aba Tuesday. Sibawo. Bakimugisa mu byabo. Naye nze omweki ekikagulisa kibawulire. Mulimu akakunizo kali baketa ka puzzle. Kali awo kanyumira nnyo okugezaamu vertically and horizontally. Nzakategedde. Koka sinjanga okubira ofuwa bweru. Yakatangajjuza. I don't mind about the rest of the page. Kale nekibadde ngamba gwe bw'oba owandiika oba osoma owandiika ekitabo kinene kiwanvu naye tolowoozanga nti somebody is going to read the whole book. Alinamu kyeyetaaga. Bw'owandiika you target for all the groups in different chapters. Chapter gundi ekwata ku kintu gundi abo abaana bajja kwagala nnyo era omwana osoma akatabo tatala nakulikuwa chapter 1 yaina kuwa chapter 7 ina kyekyagalako kikyayagala. So all those things is what we call writing for a purpose. Waliwo ekirala kyembadde njagala okukola ki kyembadde ndabidde. A friend of ours in Jamaica, this is a story which was told to me but I was not there myself. He told us that he went to market and found a lady who was selling oranges. Kakati yana emikyungwa gino egyengedde bulungi ogiraba. Ku midaala kwaliko abatunda ennyaanya, abatunda ebiyembe, abatunda emikyungwa, very many of them. You know when you go to the market, oyinza okuba nti onenya ebintu birala naye nga oba ogenze gula nnyama oba ogenze gula buuma so ne bayita omukyalo yamala mwezi enyingi nyo nga tatunda buli kiseera ng'akola ki buli emikyungwa gyalita agizaayoka. She was given advice kimanyi kyoba okola every morning when you start your story get a knife. Cut the orange. Bw'olaba abantu bajjawo nga bayitawo nuna omukyungwa ekyo. And you saw that. Munnange bwe yakikola kyakola kubanga bali bayitanga omukyungwa oguwoba olinga gumwomera ne batandika okugula emikyungwa era emikyungwa omwana ati talina gye yakola ki yazaayo. Siwulira kakati mmwe bwe muba musomesa abaana ebitabo mubisomese nga musolobeza. Sibawo bw'onoosomesa ng'osolobeza n'abaana bali mwanatto ojja kukola ki kwagala okusoma ebitabo ebyo. Naye oluusi what happened to the teacher ye sagala babalova ebitabo byo bibeerawo era n'abibawa abaana n'agamba abaana nti musome ebitabo. Kakati baba talina kasoma kusolobeza n'abaana tebajja kusolobeza. Sibawo kale ekyo nakyo nagadde nkikole kinkyogereko. Once again, before I sit down, I thank you for inviting me. Apart from being a publisher, I also do some other things. I'm the Vice President of Uganda National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and Of course, even the publishing industry is is part of Uganda Chamber of Commerce industry. Nga naawe bwewasikira Eva Barongo nange nasikira Majuega Musoke in the National Chamber of Commerce. So when you read, you can be anywhere. You can be invited anywhere. You become adaptable. Naye obanga toyagala byakusoma tewali ajja nakulowoozaako. Ndowooza mukyala Eva kyoba ndowoozaako lwakubaandako mu bitabo eyo. Mukyala wange namugambye ngendeyo ku mukolo gwabwe ebitabo by'abaana. Oh yeah, thank you very much. So children, this is for you. Read for a purpose and you will be great in the years to come. Thank you very much for listening to me. Bangambye kukola ki kuwa remarks, and I don't think I'm the one who is opening the workshop. Am I the one opening it? Eh? Oh, okay. Good. So I take pleasure of opening this workshop seminar for this the Machinde division, and I also thank the City Council and the Book Aid International for being a part of it. Thank you very much.
Was that befitting? Was the applause befitting to our guest of honor? Children, can we once again clap for our guest of honor? Wonderful. Thank you, our guest of honor, for officially opening this workshop. We are really grateful for your presence at this function. Just to take a note of what I got from our guest of honor's remarks. One, and I'm emphasizing to the children, he talked about smiling, and it is one of his things that he does, smiling. Can everybody smile to our guest of honor? We want to see those beautiful smiles. And I believe the teachers are also going to give the smile. You have laughed instead of smiling. It is wonderful. And when you smile, you know that things move on very smoothly, because that smile is an emotion. It is an emotion that evokes other emotions to assimilate into something, and you just get the automatic attraction to something when somebody smiles. Thank you, guest of honor, for the smile. And you also say we have to write and read with love and patience. And I believe that when we begin on that one, we are going to have the love and we have to have the patience in doing these things, and we have to write for a purpose. What is the purpose of your writing? Whether you are a learner, you are a pupil, you are a teacher, you are somebody else, are you having the purpose as to why you are writing that book, that story, that text, that article? What is the purpose at the back of your mind that you are writing, which will make others smile, which will make others happy, which will make others associate with others and relate? And he also said, do you know that you are adaptable when you know how to read? You are here in Uganda, but because of reading, do you know that you can arrive in USA through reading? You can go to South Africa through reading. You can get to any part of the world through reading. That's what he meant by being adaptable and reaching everywhere when you are able to read. So reading is very important, and that is the cause why we are here, to emphasize the reading. And then when you read to get the knowledge. After getting the knowledge, have you understood the knowledge, all the facts about what you are reading? And if so, if you have understood them, then analyze them and apply. Use the knowledge that you have got after reading to do whatever you are doing in life, because it is helping us in our life. To our dear teachers, I'm not repeating, but I'm just picking the important issues that our guest of honor was passing to us. To the teachers, when we read or when we are writing our books, writing materials that we are supposed to use, do we coordinate in our different subjects? Do you liaise with others to say, this is the vocabulary I'm supposed to cover in this subject? And then we relate with each other, associate, and then we do something that is good for our learners. Because once they read, even if you are teaching English and the vocabulary is good from science, from social studies, it is going to help this learner get whatever and understand and analyze very well, because you are integrating the things. And it should be, a culture to everybody. Era n'akasembayo akansanyusiza tusomese nga tusolobeza. Mwakategedde abasomesa. When you make things interesting to the learners, as we teach reading, as we teach this thing, and you make it so nice and it appears so good, they will enjoy and they will go further, and it will take them miles, and they will be everywhere. Thank you, our guest of honor. For that, we appreciate. Another round of applause to our guest of honor. So, point in time right now, the program says we are supposed to have our break. And as our providers, our service providers usher us into, they are going to let us know when they are ready. But the DJ, as of now, you can just give us some soft music that will keep us in the mood of having our break. Unless otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, if there is anything from the chairperson as we wait, DJ. Thank you. Now, please, areas of convenience. We did not have that at the beginning of the session. The children, please, our area of convenience, places of convenience are this side. You move this. Once you turn here, you will see them. And to the teachers and our guests, we have it at the administration block. Once you enter inside, you'll turn on your right. You'll be able to make phone calls of any network that you feel like. Thank you very much. Once again, you are welcome. And please let us enjoy this day as we know and understand, and take it from here that if we want to live a comfortable life, then we should be able to read. Read, and read. Thank you. At the time when we were beginning, one school came in and we did not recognize their presence. That was Katwe Matters Primary School. You are welcome. Where Katwe, put up your hand. Yeah. and the teacher is just there. Thank you for coming and to join us. So once our meal is ready, we are going to begin with the children. The children are going to have the breakfast first. Okay? And I will request the officials in that tent to lead them in an organized way to the table. That is after the service provider is ready to have you. In the same vein, as we wait, the chairperson made mention of another chairperson. At this juncture, I would like to continue thanking the Uganda Children's Writers and Illustrators Association, and in a special way
I am an author. I've written a number of books, but most importantly, I've written some readers of children, some children readers, and I'm also a member of Uganda Children Writers Association. I'm really happy to be one of the facilitators for today's workshop, and I want to share a few experiences that I've encountered that can help us as people in the book industry, of course, but also my boss is telling me that I get closer to the teachers here. Okay. My boss is telling me that I should get closer to the teachers. And I think I now have a better view of not only the teachers, but even the colleagues this side and the children that we want to teach or try to inculcate the culture of not just reading, but even writing. The chairperson, Uchua, would want to take this opportunity first to thank you for this initiative, and also seeing to it that you've taken what was started by our former chairperson forward. I would also want to thank Book Aid International in their absence, but I believe they will be watching, for such a wonderful activity that has been funded. Now, reading as a way of life. Reading comes from simply the word read. Read. As simple as that. But reading involves comprehension. If people cannot read without comprehending what has been read, and the process is successful. So we believe that the process of reading cannot be complete unless there is comprehension. In fact, our guest of honor emphasized it when he hinted on a scripture in the Bible somewhere where they ask, maybe also more together, do you understand what you're reading? Therefore, it is important that what the children are reading is comprehended or is understood. What is the role of a book or in a printed matter? Of course, books play very many roles. Among them, they improve our imagination and social interaction. When you read, you start to imagine. When you have an interaction with a book and read a story, when the kids have an interaction with any story, they imagine what the writer was thinking about or what the writer tried to bring up forward. I wrote a small book titled I Will Never Be Poor. That book has a story of mainly two characters. One was a child who did not save money. All the money that he was given for breakfast was eaten away. The other slowly saved some money. I'm continuously being moved. I'm continuously being moved. So you want me to face you instead? So I was saying that in that small book, there were two characters, Asante and Precious. Asante was saving a bit of the money that was being given to him by parents, and Precious wasn't doing it. So I wrote this book in accordance to one of the SDGs of okay, this is another. The Bible says that everything happens for the good of those who love God. We love God, and this is for the good nonetheless. So I was saying that these two characters, Asante and Precious, one was saving and one wasn't saving. And the end of the story shows that Asante had bought a number of things from his savings and a bit started up some business at home. Then Precious was wondering how Asante bought a bicycle and shoes, and she thought that this man had been given to him by the parents. So when Asante told Precious that this money was a result of the savings that was being given by the parents, Precious was so much shocked. So when this book went into the market, jokingly, I think I printed around 1,000 or 2,000 copies, jokingly, putting it in bookshops all over. I got a call from a parent, not just one parent, but a number of parents, calling me and appreciating me for the story. And one of the parents told me that the child started a saving box at home. So meaning that this child who read this book comprehended, read the story, understood it, and decided to practice it. Now, how do we make sure that what has been read in class, the stories that are being read in class or in these books are comprehended, let me say are understood very well, and therefore after being understood, the kids can start to relate and live that life of the characters in the story. This takes me to what our guest of honor said, the moral bit of it, the morals that we want to inculcate, the things that we want to see in the future need to be depicted in the stories that these children read. The books that are in the libraries need to be having those stories, need to be having such kind of imaginations that we want to see in the near future. And by reading them, by the children reading them, we are sure that the future will somehow change because something is planted in them. I want to share a testimony of a book that I read a couple of years ago. It was written by John Maxwell. John Maxwell said that regardless of the size of the container, cream remains on top. It is simple, just as simple as that. He said, regardless of the size of the container, cream remains on top. And he went ahead and gave an illustration. When you get a drop of oil and put it in this small bottle of water, it will remain on top. When you get that same drop of oil and you put it in a cup of water, it will remain on top. The same applies in a basin, the same applies in a lake, a river, or an ocean. And he said, you need to look at yourself as cream, so that you don't shy away even when you are appearing before MPs or ministers or anywhere. You are cream. Now that is something I picked so many years ago, like 10 or so years ago. And I said, no, I understand. But how would I have picked that if there was no culture that was inculcated in me in as far as reading is concerned? Now, books enable children and young people to read the past and present. It's very true that we need to associate with history, because it is history that will help us pave a way for the future. So how will our kids understand what transpired a couple of years ago, and how they can be in position to modernize or make a few changes in the mistakes that we made in the past if they don't read? That's why we need, as much as we can, as teachers, as stakeholders in this industry, to encourage the culture of reading. Of course, there is transfer of knowledge. There is an idea, there is something that each one of us has in us. There is an idea, there is a solution to a problem that you have, that you and me have. But why don't you transfer it? We cannot transfer it when you write and when you make sure that you cultivate that culture of reading, in that what you've written will be read somehow. And people are increasingly starting to read, because some of us who are in this industry of writing and publishing, we are seeing some kind of changes. The market is increasingly becoming viable. Therefore, we need to make sure that as teachers, let our kids do not again lag behind when the market is again picking up, when people are in that information age. You see, the world has gone through ages. There was a time when, and remember many of us studied that geography of Swiss Alps and Canadian Prairies, and the rich big part of that information when we don't have information to sell to the world. When you go on Google and search about an area like in Zambia, you may find nothing written about in Zambia. Totally nothing. written about how this place became Zambia, what was its original name, why it is in Zambia. There is nothing. There may be nothing to talk about that. And yet when you go to the other world, these are things that are researched in primary school or secondary school, and they are posted on internet. Now we need to make sure that children, there are so many things, we make them available on the internet for people to read, but we've not done it yet. What does that mean? That the ground is still virgin, and it is upon us, the teachers, to see to it that we tap into it and encourage these kids of ours to take part in that world, because we are certainly in the information age. We are saving information. A friend of mine is now making some good money. He told me he's not an entrepreneur. He's an infopreneur. That's a new term. He says he sells information. Yes. Reading enables children to get entertained and appreciate the environment in which they live. Reading helps children to get entertained and appreciate the environment in which they live. I think that is well understood when you read some stories that are really very interesting, and we encourage teachers to see to it that some of those stories are continuously shared with pupils. I was reminded by the guest of honor about that book Zinlo Omunaku, Kagenda Nebane and others. My mother did go to school for a number of years. I think she dropped out of school in P2. She is this very intelligent woman. She used to read for us these books at home, and we could wait, and as she reads, they were very interesting books, and so many stories were picked up. And that is how we also, the adults who are kids, then picked that culture. You read, you can research, you can do things in a different way. You can be given a medicine and read about it. Is it expired? You can find someone has gone to school, but they give them expired medicine and they take it. Then after a week, they say your medicine was, this medicine may have been, but you just didn't read about it. My wife, it challenges me. I think for her, she does it better. You may be there, a child is sick, and she goes on the internet and searches about it. So no, according to the internet, this is what is happening. Probably for her, she has a better culture of reading than I. But we need to cultivate this in our children, because information is there. They need to contribute to the information that is consumed on Google and other sources. But again, they need to make sure that that culture of reading and later on writing is in them, and certainly that is the role of teachers. Why read, and the teacher's role now encouraging reading. As teachers, it is important to encourage the children to read, and just like the theme of course, I've shared that some of the benefits of reading are seen while in class. Then the other benefits are seen outside class. Of course, for the benefits of reading in class, those ones we know very well. Comprehension, answering questions and everything, that one is very okay, we know that as teachers. But there are some importances of reading that happen when we have left school. And some of them bring greater trouble to us if children did not have that culture of reading developed. Let me give you an example. The country has been grappling with the Umeme Agreement for over 25 years now, I guess. The Umeme Agreement is just going to end, I think, a few years to come from now. But this agreement was signed by a minister who later on said that, to be sincere, I didn't read it. Now, someone has put the country in a mess for 25 years. But she was just sorry and said, you know what? I'm sorry, I signed on this agreement, but I didn't read it. So, reading can sometimes be tedious. Somehow it can, but if you help us develop a culture of reading and then comprehension, some of these things, just like we are facing, would or will not happen again. as Christians, we have now a problem of false preachers, false pastors, false everything. But why are they there? Because we do not find time to sit and study the Bible ourselves. Because someone will manipulate you, just get a scripture here and there, he manipulates you. Because you have gone to school, maybe you even have a PhD, or you have a master's degree, or a degree, or even a senior 4 leaver. You've gone to school, it's okay. Or a P7, it's okay, you've gone to school. But you can't read the Bible yourself and interpret it and understand it yourself and say, no. So teachers, kindly save us of this mess by trying as much as you can to inculcate this culture in children. Reading is an assured way of cultivating a culture of reading and literary writing is an assured way of making sure that these kids get employment even after school. You see, we are looking at skilling the boy child, the girl child, the carpentry and so many things. But the reading and writing skill, if it is cultivated, it is a skill of itself, like carpentry, like any other. I was interacting with someone who worked with New Vision after senior 6 used to write a number of good articles, and they identified her and she started work. And I should be a testimony. My training, my first diploma was in telecommunication engineering. I later on did a degree in leadership and governance. But the vehicle I drive right now is because of writing. Yes, it's because a book written that was purchased, and it's a kid's book that was purchased in volumes, and it gave me a vehicle and a fence of the home where I am. That can give you a picture of the man I got from the project. So, if we are looking at skilling the kids, it could be craft, which is very okay. It could be music, very okay. But this skill is something that needs to be cultivated and tapped into. And this is our role as teachers, as parents, as stakeholders in this industry. Reading saves us from litigation errors. I've had you might have had friends or colleagues who have been taken to court having not understood what they lost a signature on. It could be a loan agreement, it could be seconding someone. You just didn't read the consequences. So if we are to save the country, if you were to save the community around us, let's cultivate this culture so that people freely read and enjoy it, just like our guest of honor was saying. Enjoy it so that he's not looking at it as a burden, but as something enjoyable. There is a story of a pastor who went to the US to visit a friend. When he went to the US, this pastor, there has been this notion which I disagree with, that when you want to hide something from a black man, you put it in the book. So this pastor went to visit a friend in the US. So this friend wanted to test him in that aspect. Man of God, of course. So he gave him a copy of the book he had written, and he put $100 in one of the pages of the book. So the man comes back. The pastor calls him after a week. Did you read the book? He says, man of God, I read the book. It is very interesting. The book is so good. Thank you so much for blessing me. After another period of time, he calls him, but did you read the book? He says, I read the book, man of God. In fact, if you have more copies, send for the church members here. Ask the third time, after some time. Then he asked him, but did you open page 70 something? To be sincere, this man had not read the book. Because on that page 70 there was money that had been given to him. And that is how the relationship between him and that friend in the US ended. Because he knew that he was dealing with a typical liar. A typical liar. Now, what am I saying? If we do not cultivate this culture of reading now, our children will not read. It is hard to read when you're mature. It is hard. You get caught up with a number of things. The culture can only be developed now. And I urge you, my fellow, my teachers, I'm not a teacher, but my fellow parents, if we are to make a contribution to this country in any way, let us do what we can as teachers now by making sure that our children just get that culture of reading. It will save us a number of things as a country. People will be in position to make analytical decisions, make informed judgments, make informed discussions. Of course, you might be watching a number of political shows on televisions and radio. Listen, you see uninformed discussions. People don't want to read. They're already there. They can't read. They can't research. The problem to this country. They become an impedance to development, and we keep moving in circles. So it is your role to make a contribution to that generation. So as we encourage our children to read, we need to read with caution. The caution should be in the aspect of which materials are they reading, because you know what is happening these days. We don't need to hide that. The LGBTQ is very strong, and I wonder putting these materials in the schools. And of course, now we challenge ourselves as writers, our chairperson Yuchu and other stakeholders in the book industry, so that we should also write more books and keep putting them in the schools, as the publishing the other material that is anti-cultural, that is promoting human wrongs, calling them human rights. We need to have material that we continuously push into schools. We continuously push into schools, and when we push this material, because we are going to write these books, cultural, moral, we are going to write these books, but we can only sustain our life of writing these books when you teachers create the market for us. And you can only create the market for us when you inculcate that culture of reading. Yes, because personally I can go to a bookshop and buy a book of 50,000 or 100. Not many of us can spend 100k to buy a book. Yes, don't, because we look at it in terms of so many things. I mean, sugar, rice, and all those things. But if the culture was developed, a child will go and buy that book when he's 20, when he's 30, to get knowledge. And of course, we all know that knowledge is power. So the question should be, which materials are there? Are they available? Caution the kids what to read and what not to read. As teachers, how do you inculcate a culture of reading amongst kids? One, create time for children to fully read and interact with books, not for examination purposes. Just create time. Teachers, when you get back to the schools, I'm happy the deputy teacher of this school is here. Just lobby for that time. Ask the head teacher, we need to have time for each class in a week. For children not read for the purpose of being examined on how on naming the compound eyes of a grasshopper. The compound eyes of the grasshopper will be some other time. The apex of a leaf will be some other time. But just freely read. That time should be on the timetable. Just free reading, and then you ask them what they have read and understood. That time should be allocated. And I'm saying this again. Let us lobby for that time. I remember in 2019 when I had a chance to lead a team of some stakeholders in the book industry, and we met the Minister of Education. In my speech to her, still talked about this thing. And our books, I don't know how, need to be purchased by even government. Readers, not just the mathematics and the SST and the English, they are very important. But free reading will enrich our children beyond the gills of a fish. I'm not saying the gills of a fish are not important in science. Very important. The hairy body of the blast, the house fly, and the two body parts of a spider. Very important. But reading will help our kids articulate with the world much more, even when they may not be needing some of these things. The other thing is encourage parents to buy readers for their children. and recommend those specific readers. Let's tell the parent, please buy this book by Nasa Kakumba, for example. Tell them to buy our books. Yes, I have launched a campaign of writing moral-based books, and a number of them are coming out. Ask them to buy Tandy Goes to School. Ask them to buy these readers. Not to pass exams, but for kids to learn how to interact with the books, to comprehend, to learn to do things differently. Of course, we are so much onto the other careers, traditional careers, very important, engineering and so on. But there are soft skills that can be gotten out of reading. Guest of honor was challenged by some gentleman. It's called Elder Guitar. It's from the Divine Church. He did fine art from Makerere University. He's now a mature man in his 60s. He has retired. He was the project manager of Uganda Clays. Then he has retired. The man did fine art, but he taught himself a bit of engineering. I told him how. Now he makes machines that are used by Chambogo University. I think he even told me Makerere did for them machines that these machines that make clay. There is a way they call it ceramics stuff. Ceramics, he knows how. I told him, how did you learn these things? He told me, I read. He challenged me. He has a number of books he has read. He researches. Up to now he goes online. I mean, at his age he's so digital literate. He researches, goes online, buys things on Alibaba. He's such a person who you really, how did he get that information? Through reading. And that information cannot just be gotten anyhow. It can only be gotten when the teachers dug a foundation for a good reading culture. I'm about to conclude. Then the other one is make sure that the school administration budgets for readers every year. Among the things that the school needs to do, my fellow parents, as the parents bring school fees, as the government, of course, try to lobby that every year there is a slot on the budget for readers. Try to lobby, because now at least we have a glimpse into the importance of these stories. They're not just stories like people may look at them. They're not just stories. This is life. You are saving these people from manipulation. You are saving countries and companies from collapsing. You're saving you're saving the world with by only empowering these kids to read. You're saving the world a number of things. Then encourage children to come up with their own stories. As they read, as they interact with the books, encourage them. They have stories. I was telling our chairperson that we need to embark on a campaign of coming to schools. Probably the kids write the stories, we edit them somehow. Then after we can publish some, we build this culture. And it can only be built when you support us or you support those who do such kind of things. So encourage the kids, and this can be in that time that has been allocated on the timetable for free reading. As they have read, towards the end of the term, there is a story that a child can come up with, and as the school can have this budget of maybe publishing them in one book at the end of the year. Can have them published, and they feel good. The kids feel good. It encourages them greatly, and it also helps them greatly in comprehension. I was asked, where can we get the materials? Where can we get the materials to read? Of course, the materials, we have them. At Uganda Children Writers Association, that is the starting point. Support us. We have the reading materials. Of course, even other publishers have the books. I'm happy Mr. Kamalu is here. I knew him as Mr. Kamalu, probably didn't know me, but I appreciate the fact that he's into the footsteps of Mr. Madrega the late. Mr. Madrega was my good friend. We lost him. Of course, we lost Mrs. Barongo also. These were people who were just passionate about books. I could call Mr. Madrega anytime and he picks. And if he doesn't pick, he would call me back. I said, what were you saying? They were just passionate about the industry. Therefore, They encourage us by buying our books. I said encourage the children to come up with our stories. Other publishers also support them. Then the way forward. Of course, Uganda Children Writers Association hopes to write more proposals that will enable the production of books, both in local languages, to have more reading materials. We through our chairperson, hope that we shall have such kind of activities where we can give a hand in terms of availing reading materials to schools. And if that happens, please let the children read these materials. Then produce more promotional materials, Iggy pens, books, bookmarks, bags that carry messages of importance, of the importance of reading. Of course, we appreciate the fact that my boss, she's one of the founders of the Dear Day, Drop Everything and Read. Please let's clap for her. So such kind of people, such kind of initiatives will play a very big role in making sure that the culture of reading is grounded. The other one is collaborate with media and participate in reading promotional programs. You can do it at school. You can have that activity in your school and invite us. We will not ask for money, but if you want to give it to us, please do. But we will come, because you see, this industry of writing, this book industry, there are so many things that we can do to make money. Of course, money is so many things, but it is driven with passion. So besides the money, we will certainly come and support you and see to it that there are some kids that come out, maybe publish, maybe become writers, maybe become good lawyers, maybe become anything that has, but with a grounding of a good reading culture and of course writing. Solicit for funds to set up children libraries in Kampala and even in our schools. I've gone to big schools in this country, secondary schools, big, very prominent, and you get to their you ask for a library and they have a big bookstore, books are just there. So many, they don't have a library, and I've not appreciated the culture of even having a library. We thank the representative of KCCA, at least they have a library. That one has been maintained. Let's clap for them. But in so many schools, it's not looked at as a must. So no, we shall dictate notes or write them on the blackboard. That is all. Then edit and produce writings by children. That is very important. Set up a committee to monitor and support reading clubs in schools. These are things that we want to do as Uchua, to set up committees that can visit you once in a while. How are you progressing? And this we are doing it out of passion, but also out of the need to grow this culture and invest in that information age that is. We are not yet there. We are consuming other people's information, and that's why we are continuously having so many black people in a white skin. Yes, there are so many black people. You see, the person is black but he's white. He's thinking things. The music you say, let me play don't come on. No. Those things are local. They are black people but in a white. So we need to avoid that by making our literatures available, our stories. Maybe I should speak this softly when the chairperson is not hearing. We need to make sure that these foreign books leave our market and it's full of our local stories. She has not heard that. She has certainly not heard that. Then lastly, like I said, I personally I am what today because of reading. It's a reading culture that was cultivated in me. I would be maybe doing so many other things out there, I don't know. But I am what today, where I have gone and where I will go. I believe you'll be seeing me on so many other platforms with time, but the grounding is nothing other than books. The culture of reading that was cultivated in me, and finally writing. So let us do it to our children. It will help to grow their comprehension, their intellect, their reasoning, and greatly bless our country. I thank you, and may God bless you for God and my country. They told me there will be some questions. If they are there, I will take them. Then if there are any questions.
Thank you very much, our facilitator. Min, will you take the questions from here? Please, that microphone can remain there. Okay. Question and answer session. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any question to our facilitator, I'm still waiting. So our facilitator, Mr. Nasser Kakumba, by the looks of it, I'm not seeing any person with a question. And what does that imply? That the note, the keynote that you have presented to us has been well understood, and I believe it's going to be analyzed, and what they have picked is going to be applied. Can we thank our facilitator for taking us through this session? Maybe, besides asking a question, one would like to give a comment, observation.
Thank you very much. You will allow me stand. My name is Owori John Patrick. I'm very so happy to have learned a lot from the previously given concern. But I have something in mind related to the few things that you have given us, and is disturbing my brain. I hope it is the platform to help us. You've told us that as the book industry and the publishers, we have to encourage the culture of reading to the children, which is very right. But we have a challenge. We have very many industries that are publishing books, and some of these industries sound to be so powerful vis-a-vis our culture. You just summarized it here, that some of us were in black, but we sound white. What is in your arrangement as the industry to help the generation, the forthcoming generation, to fight this industry that sound to be powerful, and then what they are publishing is going so fast than we do? Thank you so much.
Well, I thank you so much for that question, and I believe my answer to that, if it is not sufficient enough, my chairperson and guest of honor will make a contribution. I would want to appreciate the efforts that are being done, or have so far been done, to try to get our people on track in as far as the black people in the white skin is concerned. First, there was a time, and I think Mr. Matovu will attest to this. There was a time when there was no local publishing house in this country, right? There was that time when all the publishing houses were foreign. But we now appreciate the fact that we have a number of local publishing houses. Thanks to the late McGregor, who started up MK Publishers, Fountain Publishers. There are so many that you know of. Kobuta, it could be teachers, you know that, Vivid, and so many others that are coming up to see to it that they replace the other former publishing houses that were just importing in books here into the country. I also want to appreciate the fact that parents and some schools are increasingly buying our books. there has been a time that is of course deteriorating now, when the readers that are being asked by schools to be bought and bought to school is Ladybird and so many others. Now we are happy that some schools are adding our books on the circulars instead of the other foreign books. So if you continuously advocate for that, if you continuously do it, you know, there was a time I bought some very good book for my daughter, very nice book, well illustrated. When I took it home, I read through it. I hid it from her when she had already seen it. She pestered me, where is the other book? But after reading the stories, magic, you know, there's so much of magic. They're not our Ugandan stories. So you have a hand in supporting us, one, by making sure that you advocate for the schools to buy our local stories, because we can better tell them than the other world. Then secondly is by screening the materials that may be foreign, that are most likely going to end up in our books. But most importantly is advocate and support our local writers, because they better tell our stories. I don't know whether I've answered your question. Thank you.
Supplement by the chairperson, please.
I was going to give the opportunity to our guest of honor, but I want to add probably one issue. I would like to request and kindly request teachers, please get to know what your children are reading. Get to know what your children are reading. The times are bad. We are getting literature which is from foreign countries and which is not palatable to our children. So please have a keen eye, see what our children are reading, get to know what they are reading. You don't have to worry about us. We got clearance after having scrutinized the books that had been donated to us. We scrutinized them and made sure we had no information. We are not going to donate any information that is not palatable both to our children and to our culture. So please have a keen eye, look at what the children are reading, and make sure that some of these cultures that are foreign don't penetrate our children. Thank you. Now I would like to give the microphone to our guest of honor who has a comment also.
Under emotional intelligence, we don't fear anything. Don't fear. I don't know how many of you have gone to impacts. For me, when I go to the national impact, if there is an elephant, no, lion, let me go to lion. If there's a lion there and I'm here, I stand still, right? Or the best thing, I can even move one step just near it, but not very fast. One night you find it running away. The lion can run away. Maybe I'm giving you an example which is not very, very near you. There are some fierce dogs in homes. When you are there and the dog is trying to threaten you, please don't run away. Stand still. Eventually, the dog will run away. Now I'm talking about that question of yours, talking about foreign books. I think it is like a lion. Why are you fearing it and you're running away? The answer is, what can you offer? You cannot complain about those foreign books when you are not there. People are not reading those books because and they are leaving your books on the shelves. They are reading those books because there's a vacuum. Say, wow, chair. Try to cover that vacuum produce as many books as possible for our children here which are relevant, you see those books disappearing by themselves. Those books you mentioned, Ladybird and so on, they disappeared gradually because Uganda and all Africa started also writing theirs. Isn't it? I think that is a simple question I'm giving it to you. Don't fear those books, they are there because you don't have a substitute. And the children are hungry, they really want to read. They really want to read, but really what? Thank you. Thank you, man.
Thank you very much. My name is Annette Chiveru. I wanted to add something to that. We may have the books, the substitutes will be there, but have we written what they want to read? Because the books will be there, but are the children interested in what you have written? That is the other bit. Thank you.
Yes, that is, they are giving us a challenge.
Thank you very much. I'm very sorry, you will forgive me, but I still have one thing to inquire from the facilitator. You've not shared with us the challenges in the industry. Secondly, I come from Karamoja. I've been in this centro for the last nine years. And if the culture of reading, I'm also journeying in reading. But of my surprise of recent, when I went to Karamoja, my home village, I got in touch with some of the senior 4 leavers, P7 leavers. We had some meeting in the village. But my dear, I would like to share with you this testimony. First of all, the English spoken there these days compared to our elders has got lost. And now that one brings in my mind that the reading culture has been buried. Then, what is the industry of the publisher doing to make sure that their coverage is not only in urban centers, to help this poor person in Karamoja, who one time will also stand as an MP to come to parliament to stand to talk to people? In my view, would it be that we find a way as the industry? You say that we can invite you, if I make that arrangement, to Karamoja to go and preach this gospel to the young ones. Will it be possible to widen the coverage area of the reading culture, not only in Kampala as a center, but also in other areas of Uganda? So that we don't look at only a small coverage, but widen. Because you're talking to me here because I've been in the urban city, but there are those people in those areas, they don't know. So as the industry doing this, do you have this in plan to help not only people in urban center, also to go to other areas? Because they're not there. This kind of, it's not there. Not even teachers are called for refresh. I've got a chance, I'm standing before you because you've told me. I've been tied here in the center. But my people on that side, advise me please.
I will escort him. I will escort him if you are going there when it comes to him. Yes.
Thank you very much. That is a very important observation. But the truth is, I'm not speaking for publishers, but I speak as somebody who has ever worked with the Ministry of Education. Some years back, we introduced a system of supplying books according to the cultural setting There are 7 language groups which were recognized at that time in the Ministry of Education. And I think even Karamojo was one of them. Karamojo Iteso, and then it is the central languages, the northern Luo and so on, Pinyankole, Ichiga, Limero Toro, and the books. People were encouraged to write books in those languages for young children. And I think that was also the time when the thematic approach was encouraged, that we teach according to themes in the area. Seminars, you are right, we are supposed to be given to those areas. You are right that the publishing industry had that challenge of arranging seminars on how to use the local language books in those areas. Because what the ministry did was supply books to children in those languages, but they did not follow them up to give seminar to the teachers how to use them. However, the use of mother tongue was encouraged. So the teachers in those areas using their mother tongue can write and illustrate using the mother tongue. You're in the central, the thing that we are using English and the Kiswahili, because here the Kampala and the other area, the mother tongue does not work. But we also introduced what we call the mother tongue, not this time now. A mother tongue does not talk about Uganda, Soga, Karamajong. No, it is the way lifestyle. The lifestyle in the area is the mother tongue. The women who are here, when you are pregnant, you start nurturing the child. That this child, when he grows up, he will be a publisher. This child who is here will going to be a pilot. The child, as you breastfeed like a kangaroo. That's what we call mother tongue. So the mother tongue, which is in Karamoja, is what has to be encouraged by all the people there. The language in the Western, the culture of cows. Karamoja, because I think you are now doing, what is your main activity there? Cows again. Huh? Yes. So even, I remember even the curriculum center at the UNEP was setting special examination for areas like that. That was the consideration. I still remember. That is the little I remember. But for Writers Association, he is saying, now you are giving this workshop here in Zambia, you are not sure what you are going to do in April, May, but maybe in June, July, you should also go to Karamoja. Isn't that what you are asking? Yeah, they are listening. For here, you have used the district council, but the other time you use the other council of theirs, because each district has its own board. You have interest, the education department for each district. You not take Mr. Kauki only stops here in Kampala. But there, all those have to be interested. That's a very important question I've heard. What's your name again? Sorry? Oh, yeah, thank you very much. Doesn't sound like Karamoja with that name.
Thank you so much. We of course we shall look into it, and as long as funds allow, we had thought of going further than Kampala. Like I said, in the first phase we were in Kampala, Mukono and Watiso, and we are thinking of going regional. So probably when when we reach that time, we have planned regional meetings. There will be like one in Mbale, one in Arua, one in Western Uganda, and probably one in Mbarara. And all of them will be like considering three main districts where we believe that the population is high for the children. So that is in plan, but what we are looking for is funds, because as long as we get the funds, we shall definitely reach there. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Yes, there is another question. I think it will be the last one, an observation. But I also like to make a comment about what Madame said about the interests. If we are to write, what we are writing, will it interest the learners, the pupils, or the people who will be reading? I know of recent, there is a stereotyping which has been taken on in most of the books. How do I mean? They make an illustration in a book and say Peter has to become a lawyer. Okay? Mary is cooking food. That is the stereotyping of it. Why is it that Mary is the one who is to cook food and Peter is the one to become a doctor? So such things, when we are writing the books, we should be mindful about them. So that still is just like in class, and say, the boys, you are the ones to carry the chairs, the girls, you sweep the class. I think will be something good if we move away from that stereotyping, and it will make us move a long way as we improve the reading and writing culture in our schools and ourselves. Okay, that's it.
Thank you so much, MC. I'm called Tugume Edith, and I am representing Igaza Creations. We write books. So far we have 5 books in the market. I've come with some samples. They are here. And I've been in this industry for the last 17 years. I started working with children when I was very young, 17 years. And I didn't know that an association like this exists, because I've been working with teachers. I didn't train as a teacher. I say that every day proudly. I'm a social scientist, but I'm a very good teacher of reading. I think it was a call. I've worked with teachers and I find them struggling to teach reading. They are struggling on the ground. You see, when we teach, okay, I'll point at the high table. When the high table sits, they have very beautiful policies, but when these policies don't go to the ground, the children don't benefit. I don't know if, I know some teachers will agree with me. Maybe the teachers of St. Peter's are very good teachers of reading. There's a teacher they mentioned here in the morning. So I find, I don't know how the teachers can be helped. The teachers need help. That is the truth. Because personally, I even took an effort to see how reading is done, and I also take time to train the teachers how to teach reading very well, so that teachers in lower primary need help. How to deliver teaching to children, how to make it interesting, how to make it fun. Thank you so much, NASA, for what you presented here. I liked it so much. It was great, and I wish my other colleagues could hear that. Yes, it is the teachers down there who need help to bring out the reading. I don't know how you're going to help us. I don't know how we are going to help ourselves. We have very beautiful books. We have books, we have music, children's music, all ours, produced by us. Unfortunately, my other colleague is not around, but she is with me in spirit. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, my dear sister, for that question. the teachers are struggling, and indeed we, or they are struggling. Well, the struggling is in two perspectives, or is grounded in two or three reasons. One, that teacher on my left in a sweater has ever been a student. Let me stand up. That teacher I'm looking at has ever been a student, and he never developed a reading culture while in school. So when he finished school, he joined university or college and became a teacher. But that does not take away the fact that he grew up or he was trained while not being exposed to other works other than academic works. Now this catches up with him or her when he or she is supposed to train others what he or she was not trained to do. Right? It's just like the new curriculum that has been rolled out in lower secondary school. The teachers are being told what and how to teach, but they were taught differently. But the issue is for us to readjust our attitude and understand that there is room for learning, even as teachers or adults. So as teachers, let us learn. Let us just learn that this we might have missed it out, but it is important. And therefore, just like my sister who was a social scientist, but has ended up being a teacher by calling. For you are lucky you are a teacher by calling, and you are indeed a teacher. Now, just like she developed that urge to research, to find out more about how to enrich herself and even others, let us invest that time to learn and appreciate. You see, these kids' books, just like you might have a child at home, you pick one and read the story for yourself. Pick another. Then you see slowly and slowly, do research. There's information online. Invite us, just like I said, and somehow, and it requires a bit of patience. Reading and training kids, most especially in lower classes, requires a little bit of patience. And of course, teaching is a calling that has aspect of patience. Then to beef up what my colleague and chairperson said about the reaching out to other centers, at least to start with, these books are even being given to government schools. At least even in the urban centers that we are going into, somehow the books are being given to government schools. And you know, somehow a student here or people here may not be as privileged as the one at Green Hill. So somehow they are still sourcing out that. Then the challenges in the industry, I don't know whether he wants to join the writing industry or all. I don't know, you're asking about the challenges in the industry. What, do you want to join writing? Which
We are all going to join.
All right. The challenges, we have overcome them for you. They're almost not there, you're right. Because as a teacher, you have the first market to start with. And when you write a book and approach the deputy teacher, look at deputy teacher. This book is good. It is for P2 to P3. Why can't parents add it on the circular for at least 5 years? You have a market to start with. Unlike me, will approach and say, what are you talking about, Nazi? But for you, you're already there. Somehow you already have that market. So start, and encourage even the young ones to start. The buried reading culture, of course, it is something that we are resurrecting now. I thank you.
Sorry for answering so many questions again. I think all of them are registering. They'll give their telephone contact, those with the email, and they are going to be your contact. That's right? So, Madam, I forget the name. Sorry?
Gume Edith.
You've been publishing books for a long time. That's right? That's what he said?
She has been teaching reading.
Or teaching reading, I thought she was also publishing books.
They have.
They have?
Both.
So, but then I'm surprised because that kind of person should be in contact with the corporate group. Do you have ISBN number? ISBN? Sorry?
She does. They do have
They do
them.
have them. Then she should be aware of Charles Batambuze by now. Or the Public Association or Library Association Library. National Library, is that right? I mean, this what you're saying in the public industry, you must all know who is doing each one. Please help her so that she's not isolated. During a break time, please come to her. She will tell you how to register with those other associations. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You have something to add? Yes.
That's one item. We have given you evaluation forms, feedback forms, and we also gave you consent forms. The reason why we gave you the consent forms, our funders normally publish books with pictures of the children to which projects they have been funding. So they need consent for the pictures. That is why we gave you those consent forms. Please fill them because we need to return them back. Secondly, we are thinking of having like a WhatsApp group because we are sure we can't finish everything from here. We know you would want something to share with us, anything of importance as far as publishing children's books are concerned, or even getting a market for the books, because we're here also looking for a market for our books. And we also want to help you write books and also market them. So we are welcoming you to become our registered members. We have a small subscription fee which we pay every year, and we believe you're going to benefit from the association, just like others have done so. So I don't know what is next on the program because we seem to be behind time.
Yes. Thank you very much. I think we are waiting for the setup of that table aside as in the program, and I think that will be before that we shall have the handover of the materials to the respective personnel. But just one thing that I've noted, which I want to bring out to everybody who is inside here together with us. He has emphasized change of attitude in whatever you have been doing towards reading and then writing these books. Maybe at a time you have said something very nice, Chairperson, that maybe we'll create a WhatsApp group which will also help us and others to penetrate that publicizing industry, because many want to be part but they cannot because they don't know the levels at which they are supposed to penetrate and find a way there. So the networking, I believe, has begun, ladies and gentlemen, teachers, and this is the point in time that we are beginning to network with these people, and we shall be there. So next on agenda is the handover.
Before we go for the handover, before we go for the handover, I had thought that we would give the teachers an opportunity to go and see what the children are doing, because I'm sure you'll find it interesting to see what the children are doing. Then from there you come. We shall give that about 10 minutes. Give you 10 minutes. You come back, and then we do the handover.
The pupils, not pupils. Yes, kindly the teachers, please let us join our learners and see the activity they are carrying out. Thank you very much, DJ. Meanwhile, as we check with our pupils, give us something that is quite interesting.
virus ekuberedde
nakuli downloading olimba lwenjagala bibubi emedde
anatamani laptop Genda. It's already done.
take a picture of him kneeling down. He gets to walk. Hey.
It's like Kamba, where you go.
Normally, bring you more because that's our work. So at this juncture, I would like to invite the guest of honor and our host, the head teacher of St. Peter, because we are going to have a handover ceremony right now, beginning now. So Madam Head Teacher, can you please come?
Our learners, please come over and witness this also. The pupils, come and take your seats too.
We would like to thank St. Peter's Zambia Primary School for hosting us. It has been a great day and you deserve a gift.
Wow. Obukalo, 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 obukalo.
Please, can teachers please come and help the head teacher? I'm sure she cannot manage to carry that box.
Head of department and head of academic.
This is St. Peter.
And the teachers around. Teacher Sise, Teacher Jane, Koja hapa.
Power. And you need to take that picture. Oh, they want me in the picture, please.
Please, Trini, come, and your friends. Christian, come. Kabode. Stand next to the head teacher there. Chairperson is thank you very much.
Next is Mirembe Primary School.
That one.
School for the physically handicapped.
My father, simula simula hey, simula simula hey, sipori, my father, simula simula hey, simula simula hey, omtene nyamo yao, ice cream, okay.
Next is Chibuye Primary School.
Hello, Nyabo. Hello, this one. Come on, where is your teacher? Where is your teacher?
You think that is your business? You cannot get the lady.
St. Paul.
I don't get a lot, God the way. And I don't pay my rent, God the way. Baby, walk from my hand, God the way. Baby, walk to my joy, for God way. I say anything and then I God
kuba kifaananyi kya maaso naye kyetaaga olina omukono omuwanvu. Anagiteekawo ssebo kamera y'amaaso gye tukozesa. Saving emaze sopo saving. Then mabega you take another one.
As you don't pass exam, now God the way. And then me say you don't go pass for God the way. You wake up, see today now, so now God the way. Rappers they love, they don't see you, they don't see you, my sister. We are better, better. God the way, better, God the way, better, God the way.
Tuduke obudde bugenda.
As now your wedding day, now God the way. And you don't see me fine for God the way. So we go pop champagne today, God the way.
Thank you very much.
God the way.
So grateful indeed. We shall always honor this day and this time for the gesture that has been showed. We appreciate so much. And only pray that we continue having a relationship, a network that will lead us to greater heights in reading.
Can we have Katwe Primary School? Katwe Matter.
The children and the teachers, please come and receive your books. The teachers and the children of Katwe Primary School.
Nagenze negiteeka mu dot star. Olumbe.
Can we have always Chibuli demonstrations?
With the pupils and the teacher receiving their books.
School.
Yes, police, the teacher, police children and the learners will take ground to receive your books. After receiving the books, please come and take your seat. Come back to your seat. Thank you very much. And
Let us give a thunderous clap to our guests. And we thank them. Thank you so much. The teachers, you were part of the thanking because we have received. Our dear guests today and our children at the same time, we are coming to the end of this function and occasion. I'd like to say that we are so grateful for this opportunity granted to us to have this book.